What is up, everybody? My name is Jeremy, and welcome to the channel. And this is going to be my breakdown for the Episode 6 trailer, The Princess and the Queen. And in this episode, we're going to be getting our first looks at the older versions of Rhaenyra and Alicent, as we're going to be getting about a 10-year time jump in between Episodes 5 and 6. And I gotta say, I really gotta tip my hat to Millie Alcock and Emily Carey for establishing these characters extremely well. They really did a good job. It sucks to see them go. Part of me wouldn't mind getting them for the entire season 1, but I totally get why they need to advance the story and age up the characters for when the actual dance starts. But it was really good to get this nice in-depth look at Viserys' reign as well, which is something we didn't get a whole lot of in the books. And it really served the story well in terms of character development and world building and things of that nature. Like, they really are laying the groundwork well for the dance to kick off. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how the time jump plays out. Like I said, Millie and Emily absolutely just killed it setting up these characters, and they really set up Emma D'Arcy and Olivia Cooke to hit a home run, as it were. So it's going to be interesting to see how the transition takes place. Is it going to be a little bit jarring at first? Is it going to be a kind of a smooth transition? I'm looking forward to seeing how they do this time jump exactly, and how they introduce the older versions of the characters, especially now since everyone's gotten so used to Millie Alcock and Emily Carey in the roles. So it'll be interesting to see how this time jump plays out. The trailer starts off with a nice shot of Caraxes flying over the water, followed by a scene in the small council chamber where we get our first official looks at the older versions of Rhaenyra and Alicent, played by Emma D'Arcy and Olivia Cooke. And we hear a voiceover from a character saying that they need to address the latest developments in the Stepstones. And light spoiler, but we know from Fire and Blood that the Triarchy that hired the crab feeder does indeed return to the Stepstones to try and take it back, only this time they're allied with the Dornish. So it's going to be interesting to see what the show does with that, how they're going to play the rest of the Stepstone storyline, because it's definitely not over yet. We then hear Alicent say how Daemon has left the region undefended, and right away Rhaenyra kind of steps in and says, no, we left the area undefended. And just from this one little exchange alone, you can tell that the rift between Alicent and Rhaenyra has gotten much worse, and you can tell they're just not friends anymore. Then we get our first look at young Aemond, Alicent's second son, and it looks like he's down in some kind of dragon's lair, but the dragon that he's in front of looks a little too small to be Vhagar. I know it's a tough angle, but looks way too small to be Vhagar. It doesn't look to have the same kind of shaped head either. Vhagar has that kind of big dinosaur shape style head. And it's a little too early in the story for him to claim Vhagar as well. As we'll see later on in the trailer, at this point in time, there is another rider that has claimed Vhagar. And light spoiler, but Aemond suffers a certain kind of injury before he claims Vhagar, and it doesn't appear that he has that injury in this shot here. So it doesn't look like this is him claiming Vhagar. Maybe this is his first attempt at claiming another dragon that kind of didn't go well or something. I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing what this scene's all about. Next, we get our first look at Aegon II, Alicent's firstborn son, as he practices his swordplay in the yard with Harwin Strong. And above that, we see Viserys and Lionel Strong looking down on them, and Viserys is not looking too well. The years have not been kind to him. Now, it was revealed in a behind-the-scenes feature that Viserys is suffering from leprosy, and it really looks like it's starting to just really take its toll on him, and that's it's tough to see him like that. Patty has been phenomenal on the show so far. I'm going to be really, really sad to see him go. Then we hear Alicent talking to Aegon, saying how he will be king. And whatever hesitancy she was feeling earlier before the time jump is clearly all gone now. Like, Alicent is 100% on board with making sure Aegon becomes king, and whatever feelings she had left for Rhaenyra are clearly gone at this point. Then we see Laena talking to Daemon, saying how they are the blood of old Valyria. And then we get our first look at Vhagar, the she-dragon of House Targaryen. And she looks absolutely massive up there. So massive, in fact, that Laena looks incredibly tiny riding her. I cannot wait to see Vhagar in all of her glory in live action. She just looks absolutely massive up there and ancient and powerful. Just really looking forward to seeing Vhagar. Then we get another shot of another new dragon. Now, this dragon we saw in earlier trailers. We haven't seen it on the show so far, but when it aired in trailers, a lot of people thought that this was Sunfire. And I also saw some other people saying that it could be Vermax as well. And judging by the look of it and judging by what we get later on in this trailer as well, I'm guessing that this is Vermax, the dragon of young Jacares. Then we hear a voiceover of a character saying how a father is being compromised by the actions of his son, as it pans to a shot of Sir Harwin Breakbones. And it looks like they're starting to set up the whole strong rumors surrounding Rhaenyra's children, which does become a big part of the plot at one point, whether or not Rhaenyra's kids are actually Laenor's or whether or not they belong to Sir Harwin Strong. So I expect that situation to definitely start to heat up at some point. Because then later on we see Alicent talking to Viserys, saying that having one kid like that is one thing, but having three of them is an insult, referring to Rhaenyra having three kids that are bastards, essentially. Then we get a shot of Rhaenyra's son Jacares teaching his dragon how to breathe fire. And the dragon looks an awful lot like the dragon that we saw earlier when we saw the two kind of dragon keepers walking the dragon up. So it definitely looks like that dragon is Vermax, and it looks like Jacares is getting more familiar with his dragon and teaching it commands. And the trailer ends pretty much with Vermax just blasting fire on something that probably is his dinner, most likely, although it could be a person, but it's most likely his dinner, a goat or something. So I'm really looking forward to seeing some more of Vermax and some Vhagar. Like, I cannot wait to see Vhagar. It looks like we're finally going to start to get some more dragon action, especially seeing Vhagar and Caraxes flying together. Anyone who's read Fire and Blood totally understands the significance of Vhagar and Caraxes flying together like that. So, really looking forward to everything. It was a really great trailer. I cannot wait for episode 6 to start. The time jump looks like it's going to be really interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing how they handle that time jump and the transition of characters from the younger generation to the older generation. So, should be fun. I'm really looking forward to Sunday. And that is going to do it for my breakdown of the Episode 6 trailer, The Princess and the Queen. And don't forget to come back for our live House of the Dragon Aftershow, Hour of the Dragon, which goes live every week, where we go in-depth on the latest episodes. We talk all things House of the Dragon and A Song of Ice and Fire. I will leave a link to that stream in the description. Definitely check it out as well. And definitely leave a comment down below and let me know which part are you looking forward to most in the second half of House of the Dragon. And as always, I want to thank everybody out there for watching, and we will see you on the next one.